Well, what is going on, everyone? So, my friends, the track is gone. My RC racetrack that I had here in the backyard is demolished. I decided to tear it down. Now, you're probably asking, why did you tear it down? Why did you tear your track down? You had such a beautiful, great-looking track. Why did you do that? Well, let me explain. Now, there's a few reasons why, but the main reason why I tore the track down is that I can no longer physically do the maintenance on the track anymore. It's too big of a job for little of me, and I needed help with this thing. The first year the track was built, which was 2023 is when it was first built, I was doing the maintenance myself. And that year we raced a lot. Almost every Saturday we were racing if weather permitted. So if I knew that we're going to be racing that Saturday, I'll be out here Friday afternoon after I got off work and start prepping the track, cleaning it up, raking up the leaves, cutting the grass, smoothing out the track, packing it down, and getting it kind of ready for race day. And then Saturday mornings, before everybody got here, I got out here and I put up the tents, the chairs, the tables, the cords, the timing system. I was doing a lot of stuff, all right? And, and when I was doing the maintenance here, I would be out here all Friday afternoon by myself. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of the guys did come out a few times to lend a hand if they could. It was much appreciated. There are some of the other guys who come out that are up in age, and I don't respect them. I don't expect them to come out here and do this kind of back-breaking work, especially with the age they are and stuff like that. I don't want that. I don't want them out here to do that. And then there's a couple of people who live further away, and I can understand that. 45 to an hour drive. It's a long way to come down to do some work. I understand that. But for most partly, it was me doing the maintenance. Now, I know what you're saying. Chris, it's your track. You're supposed to do the maintenance on it. If it's in your yard, you're supposed to do all the maintenance and stuff. But like I said, it was tough on me. All right. I was spending my whole Friday afternoon prepping this track every week. And it really got to me. I started having issues with my shoulders, my back, and it's not just from the track, but from my current job and stuff like that as well. That was another ticker there. And so with all the strain and stuff that I was doing on this track here, pulling the everything around, because I was doing a lot of this stuff by hand. I didn't have any like fancy lawnmowers or fancy tractors or anything. It was just me and my hands and shovels and rakes. We did get a tamper and a rolling garden roller thing, which the tamper was about 500 pounds. The roller was about 300 pounds. And when you're pushing those things around, the tamper pretty much runs by itself, but you're going up the hills and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a struggle. It's a struggle actually to push that thing up the hill. There's times I had to get in front of it and pull it up, and I was really hurting my back doing this stuff. And so it got to the point where I developed tendonitis in my shoulders. I had multiple back issues that kind of put me out and stuff like that. And I just can't do it anymore. I'm in my mid 40s now. All right, I am not in my 20s. I can't do that kind of back-breaking work. Like in my head, yes, my mind's saying, yeah, you can do it, Chris. You can do this. But my body's telling me a whole different story. So I decided that I can't do it without the help. And I told everybody, it's like, if you want to keep this thing going, I'm going to need the help. We're going to have a maintenance date. And before I even decided to tear down the track, I put out on the Facebook group page for the track there is like, if you guys want to keep this track going, I can't do the maintenance all by myself. I need help with this. And if not, I'm just going to go ahead and tear it down. So I didn't get any responses back on it. So I decided to go ahead and make the call and tear it down and get this thing tore up and get the backyard back. So that is the main reason why I tore down the track. And that's just, you know, between the weather here and stuff like that, it's just crazy weather. And that's pretty much it. So that's why I tore down the track, guys. I just, like I said, I can't do all this stuff myself. And that's what it comes down to. And now there's some other few reasons why as well. I'm not going to mention those issues or anything like that. It's just, you know, kind of petty little stuff. But anyway, that's why I tore down the track. Just really can't do it. Plus, you know, like I said, that 2023 year we ran a lot, and then 2024 we ran a little bit, but then the summer months came upon and it was very hot. The last 2 summers, 24 and 25, were extremely hot summers. Like, it was too hot to be out playing with RCs, you know. So we didn't do anything because it's just way too hot out here. I tried doing it and I was sweating my tail off. Sweat was coming where sweat's not supposed to be at. So it was just too hot to do it. So that was another kicker. So, but anyway, that's why I decided to tear the track down. And when I tore it down, I noticed there's a lot of rotted wood. The walls, half of the wall under the dirt started rotting out. A couple of the posts were rotted out. And there's, you know, damage from the storms that we had in 2024 and 2025. We had some storms and stuff like that. There was damage to the walls. And in order to get the track back up and running, if I did wanted to keep the track and keep it going, it was going to cost me way too much money and time to bring it back to like it was. And it's just really not worth it, really, to do all that work. But there you go. I hope that explains why I tore down the track. I know that there's going to be some of the people who came out here who are going to be highly upset about this, but at the end of the day, it's my track, my yard, well, me and my dad's yard. It's my rules. And if I decide that I want to tear down something I built, you know, why not? So, now I do have plans back here. Now, you're probably saying, you probably tore down the track really for your RC construction stuff, and since that's what you've been doing here lately. No, but I have thought about that, trust me. But no, it's not that, all right? But next process, so what we're going to do is that rent a skid steer, and I'm going to come here and level out the whole track, get rid of the dirt mounds and stuff like that. Like, you can see the border lines of all the, you know, where the dirt was very, very high over there. Yeah, I could do it with a shovel, but like I said, I got to be very careful on my back because I am very prone now for injuries on my back. And if y'all heard on my streams and stuff like that, I've had some back issues. I was dealing with back issues. I can just like that. I mean, I just kind of have to watch out for myself and not overdo it. If I can do that, I'm very stubborn. I think I can do it, and then I go and do it, and the next day I'm paying for it. Well, I could do, like I said, I could get all the dirt up from the corner, from the turns there, But really what me and my dad want to do is that we want to level out this back part, kind of flatten it down a little bit. Like, you know, there's a hill there. You probably can't really see it too much on the camera here, but there's a hill there. We got to get all this knocked down and just kind of really flatten all this down, grade it out properly. So when we do cut grass back here, we're not kind of riding up on a hill, because about right here where I'm pointing at, it goes up, elevates up. So we want to kind of try to get rid of that right there. So as I said, I got the skid steer rented. Gonna come in here and start leveling out the surface as much as I possibly can. But yeah, but anyway, my friends, that's why I decided to tear down my track. You know, just I can't do it anymore. And plus, also another thing is that I hadn't heard from anybody in a long time. You know, I don't know who's still in RCs, who's not into RCs anymore. I just don't know. So yeah, but anyway, my friends, thanks for watching. See y'all later.